Hello everybody. I would like to provide you with a few reasons why we are quite optimistic for the Vietnamese stock markets in the year 2022, so this year. If you look back at 2021, we saw a massive increase in newly opened stock trading accounts, an increase of around 1.5%, and that's if you look in terms of how many accounts there are, there's around 1.5 million newly open accounts. And this is dramatically higher than 2020. But overall, the number of stock trading accounts in Vietnam stands around only 4%, which is around 4 million accounts, which is still very, very low in comparison to, for example, Taiwan or other countries in the region. So there's still a lot of room to grow. But also, if we look at volumes, so for example, the average daily trading value on the Ho Chi Minh Stock Exchange, the main stock exchange in Vietnam, that volume has increased dramatically in 2021 versus 2020. But despite that, valuations are still quite attractive, actually. If you look at the P's, let me just look for the numbers. The current valuation of the market is only around 14.5 times the price earnings ratio, and they expect a growth of around 20% for the year 2022. So that's the expected 14.5 times is the expected P for the market in 2022. And if you look at our portfolio, we think we have a P ratio of only around 11 times, but we expect that number to go down in 2022 to around 8.8 times. So still very, very attractive. Then if you look at Asian Development Bank, they just recently came out with forecasts, GDP forecasts, taking into account the Omicron variant, which is now obviously dominating around the globe. And they think that Vietnam's GDP will grow around 6.5% in 2022, so this year. And that compares with, for example, China at 5.3%. Then we have South Korea at 3.1%, Taiwan at 3%. Then we have Indonesia around 5%, Malaysia at 5.9%, Philippines at 6%. So 6.5% for Vietnam is arguably quite a good number in terms of GDP growth. So that's, as I said, the forecast of ADB. And if you look at macro data, they continue to be stable and very positive. We see still a very strong FDI, so foreign direct investments inflow. For example, Samsung just did another big investments, but if you look at that company alone, they invested around $17.7 billion over the past 24 years. And the investments are still coming in continuously from other countries also, from Japan, from Europe, and other countries. So foreign reserves, they also continue to grow in Vietnam. We are now at a record number of $105 billion by the year end of 2021. That compares with a number in 2015, so around 5 years or 6 years ago, of 36 billion. So from 36 billion to 105 billion since 2015 is really quite a dramatic and great increase. And that also helps to keep the Vietnamese dong as stable as it was over the past few years. And it will, with such big reserves, potentially or most likely remain quite a stable currency versus the US dollar. Export growth is also another number which is quite impressive in Vietnam. I mean, in 2021, exports grew by 19.4% and reached now $336 billion. And this is despite thanks to a manufacturing shift from China into Vietnam, of course, but also all these various free trade agreements with Vietnam successfully negotiated with Europe, with TPP, so it's now called CPTPP, this Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement, and with the UK, with Europe, and so on. So various free trade agreements, and that will continue actually to help with this export growth. These numbers will most likely go up. Then, yes, of course, inflation is a risk which is discussed currently globally around the world, and also in Vietnam. Inflation at the moment is at the very modest, around 2% level, plus minus. But this was, of course, also due to the lockdowns which we saw in Ho Chi Minh and other major cities in Vietnam that kept inflation low for the time being. But it's now probably going up a little bit, but it will be very manageable so far. So we are not too concerned about inflation as long as it stays below, let's say, 5%. But as I said, we are currently around 2%, so still a long way to go for that. So yes, this was it for me, and I will provide you with other updates soon. Thank you very much, and speak to you soon. Bye.